this divide between capitalism and socialism, where I think the motto many times is about wealth creation for themselves. But you've spoken about something called compassionate capitalism a lot of times and quoted a couple of companies in the country. So it would be wonderful to hear that from you in terms of what is compassionate capitalism and what is the lesson for all of us in this room to take away and implement in our respective organizations in some form and shape.
Very true. As you said it, that capitalism has been a model for certain developed countries, but we have still seen the social divide over there. Not everybody progressed in their progress. Socialism also has not succeeded. Most of the time it has led to a kind of a disoriented kind of a social structure and entitlements, which has not led to any good for those countries as well. Now, India is much older than the history books, that whatever is said in the recorded history. And we have definitely mastered the art of wealth creation and value creation over several centuries, maybe even millennia. We might have forgotten, but if you go back and look at our principles of economics that we followed, Arthashastra is there. It always talked about the welfare of all. It was, in a way, welfare economics. So compassionate capitalism is truly a kind of a welfare economic model where you must make profits, but at what cost? At what price? That is the question, not at the cost of the environment, not at the cost of the have-nots, not at the cost of ethics and governance. All these put together is compassionate capitalism. You earn money, you make profits, but not at the cost of all these things which are non-negotiables according to our scriptures. So dharma should be the basis of creating artha, and dharma is righteous way of doing things. And compassionate capitalism should be founded on this principle of dharma, that everybody's welfare should be included, including plants, trees, animals, water bodies, mountains, and environment as climate and everything else. And ethics and governance, of course, cannot be compromised. Then once you create the profit by doing the right things, this means your products and services are truly solving a problem. They are real solutions, not imaginary, funky, fancy solutions which are being pushed down the throats of unwilling consumers through heavy marketing and advertisement. It's not that kind of a solution. Real solution, and whatever profits comes out of it. I know all companies will have to pay taxes. That's your duty. But beyond the call of duty is to do more than just paying your taxes by reaching out to those unreached segments of the society which will not get that benefit even from the government's point of view. So there is that segment which is left behind, and they can never reach the same level unless somebody goes out and reaches out for them. Many of you have come from middle class or lower middle class families, and you have crossed the chasm or the bridge, but there are many who are left behind. Somebody has to go back for them. So compassionate capitalism also includes going back and reaching out to those who have still not crossed the chasm. And that should be the extra responsibility. That in India, 2% CSR being mandated, it's kind of hinting towards that compassionate capitalism, but it has come as a part of the government mandate. And I'm proud that India, at least, it is mandated. In most of the countries, it is not, including large Western countries, it is not mandated. But Tatas, like, people were doing it even before. There were no rules at that time. Yet they did what was needed to be done. So that is compassionate capitalism. I think if all capitalism takes that a little compassionate attitude, so many problems of the world can be solved. We are $100+ trillion world GDP, GWP as they say. Yet we have hundreds of millions of people who don't have access to water, clean water, or electricity, energy, shelter, education. More than 300 million children are out of school at this point in time as we sit and talk. And probably in India, 400 million will go hungry to bed this night, this evening. What is happening is the question. I'm sure there is a possibility for us to do more than just make profits with good governance. I'm sure the ESG is what we're talking about. E is okay, G is okay, but the S part also has to be really paid attention to. And that S part is beyond the call of duty. It's not duty, it's beyond the call of duty, because you are getting penalized for the E part of it. You will definitely get penalized for the G part of it, but nobody penalizes you for the S part of it, So everybody's like, S is scot-free. You don't get stuck there. So, but I think that is where your beyond the call of duty comes, and compassionate capitalism should emphasize the role of this S, the social part of it in all companies. And that is what I think India can build its corporate structure based on these principles. And see how lucky we are. When one way of saying is in 75 years we didn't reach our true potential. Fine, bygones are bygones. Now what is that? We are at the cusp of a glorious future. And let us do it right is all that I'm trying to tell every one of you.